Yeah, she was raised by her grandmother. So her grandmother was pretty deep with some stuff. My grandmother said, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch."
Two very different styles of teaching.
She was very blunt.
They're, newlyweds who both find solace in writing music. You've made songs like Fly High, Drugs, and Love. You go by CountyWide ManHunt. How did that name sort of come about? Where did you get that name from?
That was that was me because we both have a past of just honestly addiction and being in trouble, and we are past that, and we try to promote. If we can do it, anybody can do it. If we can get past the addiction and
yeah, we both came from, really
broken homes.
Broken homes. Yeah, we were both raised by our grandparents, which is what we found out when we came together. And a lot of people will use that as a crutch or an excuse.
We don't.
We do not. We just want to prove to everyone that you can come from nothing and make something of yourself.
Right.
And no matter what aspect that it is, like you said, I've been over 10 years sober from drugs and things. And so at one point in time, there was a countywide manhunt, almost like a bounty on my head and a bounty on his head. And, we've turned things around.
I said it as a joke, and then it just stuck.
It just stuck. Yeah. So now it's like, countywide manhunt for good. We're on the hunt for people who will take something from nothing and make something of it.
Make something of themselves, man. And like I said, if we can do it, anybody can do it, because I know where we were. Trust me, it wasn't a lot of people. We've seen a lot of our friends and family members die over opiates and fentanyl and stuff like that. So if we can do it for me 11 years, her 10 years, anybody can do it. And then you can find like-minded people to come together. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that are sober that have went through it. You got to seek those people out, find them, and then have conversations, and don't feel weird about telling somebody the truth about your past.
And we don't want anybody to feel alone.
Exactly.
A lot of times, when you're living that lifestyle, or you've been raised the way that we have and left to fend for yourselves, you feel alone, and you feel like no one's ever gone through what I'm going through.
Yeah,
no one's ever
very
experienced.
The addict, the person with an addiction, or they have this mindset that they possibly could not have been. No one has been through what I've been through. No, that's not really true. And once you get to that level, as far as leveling up to where you're not selfish, as far as you're not the center of the world, and the world doesn't revolve around you, then you can move on to the next level, and then understand that, everybody, it's all different, but it's all really the same. And you're not alone. You don't have to feel like that you're on your own. You're the only player on your T-ball team.
Yeah. There's no I in team, but sometimes we like to say there's an A in team, and I am the team, and it's not that way. So a lot of things that we try to write about, we try to listen to people around us. We have people who message us and say, I understand where you're coming from in the words of your song. And that's all we want to do. There's a lot of things that people aren't writing about in their music. A lot of things are just all about, love and breakups and things like that. And that's great. And a lot of people experience those things, but there's a lot more to life than just love and breakups. You have to be able to sit alone with yourself in a room and be okay with it.
If you can't be happy with yourself, how are you supposed to be happy with anybody else?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the fact is that we both spent a lot of time alone. When we found each other, we weren't looking for love. We weren't looking to have anything. Honestly, I was not looking for that, and she wasn't either.
No, I would call it bro. Yeah. What's up, broski? I'd say.
and I would be, I literally would put her in an isolation. Like I'd cover her up with blankets and put boundaries around her while she was singing into a microphone, so I wouldn't look at her. I like literally was doing everything I could to not fall in love with her, but it happened. So, but
Mhm.
it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it seems like you two are very into like music with a meaning, trying to help people through music. Are there
Exactly.
any, I mean, songs or artists, or just has it been music in general that did that for you?
Um,
Demi Lovato, I would say on my behalf, Demi Lovato has been a huge influence on me just because she's very open with everything that she's been through. And she shows a side to her that most artists try to keep away. All of a sudden you'll see everything going really, really great for an artist, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're in jail, and you're like, what the crap? But Demi has been very honest and very open with her path and her career. And honestly, when she was in this last time that she went to rehab and she went through everything, that album that she presented, the one that has the song California Sober on it, it's
Yeah.
so vulnerable, and it is so open, and just the fact, as an artist myself, that's scary. It's very scary to open your life up to the world and allow others to see and to peek into your real life, because people are very judgmental. And when you become, like, we're on our way up, right, to where we're
Yeah.
getting to open up for some really big names. I don't want to name drop, but we're getting ready to open up for some really big names, and we're headed to Muscle Shoals, Alabama. We're headed to down to Texas to work with some artists. And it leaves interpretation for people to pass judgment on you, and to put their own emphasis on your life. But
we haven't really had judgment.
we haven't, thank goodness.
Literally, we play places and people have come up and have, after hearing us, have I've witnessed it. She's a very animated person, um, and they go up to her because she shines like a light. I am like the Johnny Cash of this thing, but she's definitely the funny person, but also very real, and she does feel everything we write. The stuff we write is about real things.
Yeah,
And
you have to
Yeah.
be willing to put yourself in someone else's
but
shoes.
I've witnessed people come up to her and actually just confess everything that they've ever done, and it would be uncomfortable for most people that I know, but for her, it's not. She can talk to anybody, and she can make them feel good and make them feel better after they confess. And it's all because she got up there and she sang a song about, you know, the to whom, for
To whom?
instance.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know.
Yeah.
It
but
says
but
things right now may not be easy. They
and
never work out the way we plan. That's how the song starts out,
yeah,
and
and
I don't know anyone that can't relate to that.
the chorus of meds don't work. They don't work, and then because
Yeah.
you're always with yourself, and if you're not happy with yourself, the meds will never work. I mean, that's in the chorus as
There's
far.
no medicine out there to cure a lonely heart or a
Exactly.
broken heart.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of like-minded people. They just need to talk to each other, and
Communication, that's the thing. We always
we stress that, and
we
we're
do.
still working through it too. We got our own baggage that we have to deal with, as far as because of our past with broken homes and drug addiction, and
But one thing that we
yeah,
found out is, just as easily as you allow someone to be happy around you, you expect that, or you allow someone to be sad around you, you have to also equally too allow them to be angry, and allow them to be upset, and allow them to tell you how they feel, because no one can dictate or tell you what you're feeling is right or wrong.
right, and that's the big thing. A lot of judgment in relationships. That obviously, I mean, are you married?
No, definitely not. I'm
No.
definitely too young for that. Too young for that.
How old are you?
I'm turning 18 this weekend.
Well, sir, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
He's a young pup.
Well, good.
But look at him. He's already
It's
successful.
good though. Yeah,
He's already successful. Look at him.
Yeah, we admire that, you know, because if you don't pay attention to what's going on around you, you know, you can find little lessons. God drops little lessons in on you, no matter where you are, and you just have to
gotta be open enough to see it.
Yeah, you gain the knowledge, not only the knowledge to know, but you also gain wisdom, the wisdom to know the difference and where to apply the knowledge that you've been given. You know, my grandmother, it was her birthday yesterday, and I remember her always telling me, Huckle, you've always got to make sure that you put yourself in someone else's shoes, because not every story is going to look the way that the outside of the book will characterize it. So there's always much more to it. You cannot take everything as a, you know, as a standard. Everything is case by case basis.
Yeah, she was raised by her grandmother. So her grandmother was pretty deep with some stuff. My grandmother said, "Don't count your chickens before they hatch."
Two very different styles of teaching.
She was very blunt.
Yeah.
Are you a music artist trying to find a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible? Then check out DistroKid. DistroKid is a super user-friendly and super easy-to-use service that will make your music available in stores like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon Music, YouTube, Snapchat, everything. Everything you could imagine, it's available. People will even be able to add your songs into their Instagram stories. DistroKid helps you with the distribution, monetization, and promotion of all of your music. Use the link in the description of this video for 7% off any DistroKid package you want. Pick from musician packages designed to help artists get their own music out there, or even get a label package where you can manage up to 100 artists from one profile. So that's more for like managers, labels, and you can also get the musician package that I mentioned earlier, which is more for artists, producers, things like that. It's super easy, and you can get 7% off any package right now with the link in the description of this video. So once again, if you're looking for a way to get your music on as many streaming platforms as possible, I'm talking any platform you can think of, get DistroKid and get 7% off right now with the link in the description. Back to the program. I appreciate all the kind words. You know, I'm definitely getting into this young, and you know, that's both, I mean, like almost anything, pros and cons. You know, I'm getting experience. I'm starting to learn a bit more about how to do this, what goes into it. But at the same time, you know, there are times where maybe I coordinate with someone, we get on the call, and you know, they're like, oh, you're, you know, younger than I expected, or we're talking, and while they're like trying to do research, my age comes across as, you know, inexperienced, too young, and that it wouldn't be a legitimate opportunity. And so I'm appreciative any time that, you know, someone can come on and just have a conversation like this with me, and you know, get you know, to hopefully educate anyone listening.
Well, let me tell you something, man. Those people that judge you based on your age, they ain't worth having an interview with anyway, because it pretty much shows who they are and their character. So the fact is,
I commend you.
I commend you. Yeah, dude, you're doing a good job. She's been watching your stuff, and I've been listening.
And I think that what you're doing is great.
It is.
And it's I mean, helpful.
You're doing a lot of good things, and it's especially the positive aspect of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
you're not getting some goth person talking about death and stuff like that. You're actually
speak life. Yeah, speak life.
Real life, positive stuff. It's a hero, right?
Yeah. I was just 1 year older than you when I became a mother for the first time, for the only time actually. I was 19, and you know, so age is just a number. And
well, they all thought she was too young too. They passed judgment too, man.
They do, and
But it is what it is.
None of that matters.
None of it matters.
It's all in what you choose to take in and how you choose to apply it. And I think that what you're doing is great. You're giving others a platform, and giving awareness to people who may or may not have it or have had the opportunity. So I think what you're doing is great.
Yeah, man. You're an old soul. I can see that already, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. You're a good kid.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And we don't have to go too into it if it's not something you want to touch on. But this, being a young mother at 19, what was that like for you? Did you sort of learn anything important for that? What was that just like time in your life like?
It was a difficult time. I'm going to be honest. I had a full scholarship to law school, and it was very difficult, especially coming from a person who didn't have family to help. I didn't have mom or dad there to help me babysit when I was in classes. So I worked at the Cracker Barrel, and then went to school during the day, and I did my homework at night in between bottles and feedings, and it was very difficult and it was very hard. And I'm not going to set an expectation of it was easy for anyone, because it wasn't. But I just knew that I could do it. And I just had something inside of me that just always kept pushing, and honestly, had I not had my daughter Lyric at such a young age, I probably wouldn't be as far as I am now, because she made me want to push to do better. She didn't ask to be brought into this world.
One thing about Huck, you say no to her, she says immediately, "Watch me go."
Yeah, tell me no, watch me go.
And that's just the way it is. If you say she can't do something, she will go through the pits of fire to prove you wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. A ton of people that I follow are the same way, and I think that's super admirable when someone's like, "Oh, you can't do this," and I go, "Bet." I go, "Watch me, watch me."
And that's the best thing you can do. I see it in I'm sorry, I love Jesus, and
you don't have to apologize.
Go ahead.
Well, that's true. That's true. But okay, I don't apologize for loving Jesus, but I just see it as if the devil throws me fireballs, I just consume it and use that energy for good, because energy cannot be created, or I'm sorry, energy cannot be canceled out. It can be only created and transferred. And so any energy that comes my way, whether it be positive or negative, I'm going to consume it, and I'm going to exert it into positive energy, into something that you can do, because that is our strength and our power in ourselves, is, knowing what we are physically capable of. And anybody can do anything that they set their mind to, no matter what. If the Elon Musks and the Kanye Wests and the Donald Trumps and all the people of this world listened to everyone who told them no, they couldn't do it, they wouldn't be where they were.
Yeah. Joe Rogan, man.
Exactly.
He's just powering through it.
Yeah, Steven Crowder. I mean, we absolutely love Steven Crowder. And there's been so many times that people would tell him, "Look, dude, you're not even American, and you're over here talking about American stuff." But he says, "Tell me no, watch me go." He just uses it as fuel.
Yeah.
You have to. You can't listen to the naysayers. You can't listen to what people tell you can and can't do, or you'll never do anything. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything.
We literally fired our manager because he asked me, "Hey, because we have banter, like funny banter between the two of us. It's all improv, but she's like, it's like watching June and Johnny or Ricky and Lucy. As far as she's just hilarious. She's off the wall shit. Excuse my language.
Listen,
but off the wall.
That's
comforts
fine.
are just an evolution of language.
But the thing is, man, she absolutely.
He told him, he pulled him to the side and he said, "I need you to tell Huck to stop talking about Jesus on stage."
And I said, "Sure, let me go do that." And the first thing I did was give her a guitar, and she played the most beautiful song. And I filmed it on my phone, and I said, "This is why you're fired," because literally everybody in the restaurant stopped what they were doing and picked up their phone and was filming her. Mm-hmm. And I said, "This is why you're fired."
Yeah, I mean,
I can't have her not do what she does. She is who she is. You can't tell her. You can't say stop doing or stop being who you are. No, man.
You can't, no matter who it is, because if you do, you'll never get to where you want to be.
You got to be who you are and be strong about it. Step strong to the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's great that, a lot of, just music in general nowadays is becoming more independent. It's more accessible and easier for people to sort of build themselves up rather than needing a manager, needing a team behind them to sort of help get them there. And so I think it's awesome that you found the courage to sort of stick with who you were and get rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays, used to back in the day, you would have to have someone representing you. You did have to have, all these things. But we are, standing right here at the forefront saying, if you want to do this and you're good enough and you apply yourself, you can do it on your own. Independent music is not that difficult. You can book shows on your own. You can, file your 1099, do your taxes on your own. You can book shows on your own. You can get attention from national artists all on your own. You don't have to have someone to represent you. My whole life I was just considered a karaoke singer, and it's a lot more than that. We encourage that. If your passion is to play, if your passion is to sing, if your passion is to speak, you do it. You don't need anyone to pave the way for you, because look, Moses walked right out there with his own staff and he parted that sea, and he had thousands upon thousands of his people follow him right through and walk across. He didn't wait for God to do that for him. He didn't wait for Jesus to do that for him. He didn't wait for any pharaoh or anyone to do that for him. He said, you know what? I believe that this is what I was called to do, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And he parted that sea and he walked those people right through it. You can do it right on your own.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by BondTouch. BondTouch is committed to creating healthier and happier relationships, and in order to achieve that, they created the BondTouch. This bracelet is designed to bridge the distance between relationships by enabling touch to be sent over any distance. The app and services that come with the bracelet provide the intimate space relationships need to have fun, learn, and grow. BondTouch has over 1 million users and averages 2.5 million touches every week. The longest distance ever recorded between two touch band users were 12,000 miles. Use a BondTouch to send a touch to a loved one wherever, whenever. Defeat the distance by using BondTouch's app and bracelet to connect with others. Just wear a bracelet of your own that's paired with another, and touch the screen to send their band vibrations that mimic your touch. Keep a special someone close, with every touch kept in the app ready for replay. Decorate your devotion with unique styles, customizable bands, and custom message colors. Learn more about all features of the BondTouch itself at bond-touch.com and use my discount code BondBBHeroic at checkout for 5% off any BondTouch order. Go order a BondTouch, BondTouch More, or a Bond Heart now and use code BondBBHeroic for 5% off your order at checkout. While I was trying to, learn a bit more about you guys and your music leading up to this, I was listening to that song you guys recently came out with, Drugs and Love. Can you tell me a little about the message behind that? What went into writing that song and making it? Just anything you can about Drugs and Love.
Yeah. That it's basically
it talks a lot about codependency
and two people being addicted, and that could be a number of things. As far as a drug is, a drug could be somebody who is addicted to sex, or someone who's addicted to eating. I mean, or drugs in general, as far as whether it be opiates or whatever. But it spans everything that two people literally stay together only because they're feeding this fuel of addiction, not because, and that becomes the love is because that person supports that
habit.
Yes, and they both do it. As far as if
You know, one of the verses says, "With this ring, I fall to my knees." You know, and it's basically saying, "I surrender. I don't want to do this." You know, statistically, any relationship that starts out with two drug users does not withstand, because what they find out is after they get sober, they have nothing in common. But this song kind of goes against that. It's beating all odds. It's saying, you know, I do love you, and I don't depend on you to help me get my high. I don't depend on anything. I depend on our love. And so that's what it's saying. Like basically, it's throwing up a white flag, saying I surrender. I don't want to live this way anymore. And you know, they beat all odds, and that's what we wanted to prove. You know, statistics, I don't like them, because when you start putting statistics on people, you start categorizing people into one thing. And everybody, like I said again, is a case by case basis. And so it's basically just bringing awareness to the fact of, you know, you can come from crap. You can depend on things, other things, and chemicals and substances and other people to make you happy. But then you can wave your white flag and say, you know what? I'm done with this. I want to just be myself and have our love and not have to depend on anything. And
sometimes that means you have to leave the person you're with.
It does.
I mean, to find the person that you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
And we both have been through that. As far as we both kissed a lot of frogs before we found each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, it starts out, face it, love. Where do I begin? And I think that a lot of relationships out there start right there. Where do I begin?
After
because we've made such a mess.
About a year into it, you're like, shit, where do I begin to talk about this?
But at some point, you know, we encourage everyone to gather.
You're going to go through this too, bro. Trust me, you're going to go through it too. Because
even if you don't personally deal with something,
no, you're definitely.
And I hope you don't.
I hope you don't go through what I'm talking about. But you will go through weird relationships with crazy people.
Yeah, everyone has trauma. Everyone has some sort of trauma, and you know, your trauma may be a walk in the park compared to someone else.
But it's still trauma.
But it's still trauma, and it still affects.
That doesn't discredit it.
No, it doesn't discredit nothing, man. So, and don't let anybody say, well, you didn't do this, and you didn't go through this. Man, you know what? I'm sorry you went through that, but obviously you're not where I am. As far as I see it all as trauma.
Right. And again, and that comes with the knowledge and the wisdom of when to and when not to and where to apply. You know, and we just want to give people the strength to know that everyone has capabilities. Everyone is capable of doing anything and everything that they set their mind to, no matter who tells them that they can't.
Exactly. And look at you. You're doing it.
Yeah. How many naysayers are you that say you're too young, you shouldn't be doing this? And you say, you know what, I'm doing it anyway. And you're doing it very successfully. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And, you know, now, like, moving on from drugs and love, going forward, what's next for CountyWide ManHunt? When's on the horizon?
Well, we have what?
We've got a lot of things coming. Like I said, we're planning on trying to get down to Muscle Shoals, Alabama, which, if you guys aren't familiar with that, that's where Elvis recorded his.
No, it's not Elvis.
Yes.
He did, yes, but he was in Memphis.
Yes, he started in Memphis, but he did go down to Muscle Shoals.
But we're going down with Isabel's producer and also Gary Nichols, who was he won a Grammy with the Still Drivers,
which is Chris Stapleton's
Chris Stapleton
first band.
Yeah,
but it's they really like what we're doing, and so we're going to be going down there and recording some stuff down there with those guys.
Well, they haven't met me yet. They really love what Jesse does. Jesse's been down there a couple of times.
The writing sessions and things like that.
Our song "To Whom" was
it was mastered down there.
It was mastered down there, and they are interested to see what he's found, because Jesse Taylor, he don't get no junk now, I tell you. So anything that his name is tied to is good, and so. It's been a big confidence booster for me, like I said, coming from a person who was just considered a karaoke singer to someone as amazing and fantastic as Jesse as he is, and the experience that he has under his belt, to look at me and say, I consider you a musician.
Yeah.
That was huge for me because I had.
So that and the first song that I played for you, you said, "Okay, that's mine."
Yes.
I said, "Okay."
Yes, I did.
So
I said, I want to sing that. Please let me sing
it's
that.
mine. It's mine. I'm like, all right, you can have it.
Yeah, I had
And
someone.
we'll play that for you.
Yes, and I had someone ask me one time. They said, Huck, what is it going to take, and when is it that the point that you will realize that you are actually part of the music community and that you should be here? And, I didn't know the answer to that question. I thought, well, maybe if somebody big, huge, and famous says that I'm good, then that'll make me feel like I'm good enough to be there. But it's not. It's someone that you end up respecting. I respect Jesse and I respect his opinions because I know he knows what he's doing and I know he knows what he's talking about. And so things that I present to him, he looks at me sometimes and he'll say, this is amazing. I never thought about it like this, and that's a huge confidence booster for me. So it doesn't always take, the Beyoncés and the Britney Spears and the all those famous people to tell you that you're good. Sometimes it just takes someone that you respect and honor to look at you and say, "You got this," to make all the difference.
She does got it.
And yeah, you definitely got it. And like you said, I think we were planning on you performing a song of yours here on the podcast. And so, I mean, whenever you're ready, just give us a little introduction to the song, what it's about, and then go right ahead.
This is called To Whom, and it's about
everyday life. And I think everyone will be able to feel it. This was the first song one of the first ones that he played for me, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I have to have that. That's mine."
You said that's mine.
Yeah, that's mine.
All right.
That's her.
Yeah.
So I originally was singing it, but when she sang it, it just brought on a whole different emotion that it needed. So here is called To Whom.
Well, things right now may not be easy. No, they'll never work out the way we planned. Life's been no bad roses. I can count my happiness on one hand, and it's hard. Oh, it's even harder when you're told every day that it'll be okay. And it's hard, but it's even harder when your meds, they don't work, but your heart still hurts. Well, Christmas this year will burn a little longer, a little stronger, and a whole lot taller.
Whole new year will come to this person I've become.
Too scared,
A little bit farther, and it's hard. Oh, it's even harder when you're told every day it'll be
okay. hard. Oh, it's even harder when your meds, they don't work, when your heart still hurts. Let me cry. And it's hard. Oh, it's even harder when you're told every day it'll all be okay. And it's hard. Oh, it's even harder when your best they don't work, but your heart it still hurts. Oh, it still hurts.
Sorry about that, Hunt. I didn't put the capo on there.
That's okay.
She's singing in a different key, but it sounded good though.
Yeah, still sounded great. That's definitely that was great. I mean,
Thank
all
you
around.
so much.
Yeah, well, thank you for the performance, of that great song. In case, people want to try to find your music online after this, where can they find you online and your music?
We are on Facebook. It's CountyWide ManHunt. We have an Instagram. It's called the CountyWide ManHunt, and then you can also find us on YouTube as well. And be listening on your radio. I don't know. I think they have a website, but in December we're going to be on 99.3 FM here in Kentucky, and that is the Gateway Cycles studio. We are going to be hanging out with them from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. I'm sorry, from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Sharing some of our music and our stories and different things like that, taking some questions from some callers and such.
I will say this though, when you get in contact with us, it's not some bot that's answering you. If you're a legitimate person and you want to reach out to either one of us, we will honestly get
Yeah,
back
it's
to you.
us. It really is us.
It's
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
It's not somebody we're paying.
I mean, I can attest to that right here.
I
the
know,
struggle
so
this.
say. I mean, you probably get a bunch of bots that go into that try to message you, and we deal with that too. But we know the difference between a bot and a real person. So
Yeah, and we're here for everything.
we're here for people if they want to talk.
Single moms,
It's fine.
single dads,
Whatever.
any addict, any abusive relationship, anything at all. There's not much that he or I haven't either been through or seen and experienced with a friend or a family member or what have you. We do not judge.
Not at all.
At all.
We'll get you help if you need it.
If you're just fresh coming out of prison, we're friends with you too because we understand that everybody makes mistakes.
Literally, I have clothes in a bag right here going to a young woman whose son is coming out of the jail that he has no clothes coming out. So Huck and I got together and got a bunch of clothes. As far as we do what we can to help anyone that's in need.
That's trying to help themselves.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. We want to help you if you want to help yourself because there's nothing that you can't come back from.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And if for somebody to say you can't, they ain't worth your time.
Exactly. Leave them in the dust.
Yeah, well, that's great. Great to hear that, you'll even offer help to these people. And thank you again so much for coming on. It's been a great chat.
Thank you, man. And I love your platform. And you know what? You're going to be successful.
Yes. We
Very
wish you all the
successful.
success in the world, and we will help you in whatever way that we possibly can.
Oh, we're going to share this everywhere, bro. You're going to be famous.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and all the same to you. Yeah.
We love you, bro.